Like, we don't kill each other. I wouldn't go outside. I don't think no dude who's ever killed anybody went out and said, you dark skinned and today I'm gonna kill you. It'd be a money situation every time. You go to any poverty-stricken community, anywhere across, like the diaspora, across the world, and you're gonna see the same thing.
It's sociological reasons why they're killing each other.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't like your skin color, I don't like the way you look.
It's like survival. Survival is like savagery. Like, that's what you do when you have to survive. You resort to savagery, or you won't survive. You know what I mean? So we have to get away from trying to survive and like thriving instead of trying to survive. Surviving is just maintaining, like keeping your head above water. Of course, you're gonna drown the person next to you to stay on top.
Because there's a difference between life and living. So we need to learn how to live.
Exactly, and that's like capitalism. Like, you have to drown the person, you have to take advantage of the person next to you for you to come up.
That's all we're taught.
Yes, we don't have to do that though. Like, we can work together. Like, we make all these.
Unfortunately, this is America. This is how America was built. You know,
even
capitalism.
in,
so that's why.
Forget us. America was stolen.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's all America is. Stealing from one another to get me to the top. White, black, any indifference. That's just what America is.
I think it's another way to play it though. Like, when I go to an Asian community, I see the Asian community and they have all these businesses where they employ their people.
Yeah.
And they own all the property and land in their community.
As well as like the Cuban and the Hispanic
community.
The
Jewish community.
They
their govern themselves. Black people can do the same thing. And probably make 10 times more money, because everything that you put on, whatever you decide is cool, is what the rest of the world follows.
Think it's cool anyways.
So just make the money from it, and you'll be able to, you probably not even control, you probably be able to take over. And the world would be ran the way you see fit, not just the neighborhood.
Now let me ask you this, do you think it's like that because of how it was with slavery? Because then you had the field niggas, and you had the house. Okay, let me say that you had the blacks in the fields, you had the blacks in the house. I came from a family where, rest in peace, my great grandmother, she went through that as a young girl and had to go through it. My great grandmother would go ahead and go towards a white person, have a white person do something before she had one of her own do something. You know, one of her own kind. Go ahead and fix something for her. You get what I'm saying?
Because
I hear what you're saying.
she was taught, because she grew up like that, right?
Exactly.
So to her, those are her authority.
Now, so
she trusts them because even though it was bad, she needed them to stay alive. Because you're a slave. So in your mentality, that's the only way you eat. That's the only way you live. These motherfuckers could kill you tomorrow. So it's out of fear. You know, she was scared. Like, it was fear. That's the only reason that drove her to only feel like she could only trust white people. It's not really trusting. It's just fear.
So like,
because Haitians are the same way. I swear to God, a lot of older Haitians, for some reason, they gravitate towards white people like as if they could save them. I'm like, yo, you got a whole Haitian community here, and Haitian community is the same thing like the black community. They do, they're not as together as they should be. They're not. They do look out to the others. I don't want to say white people.
They idolize another culture.
Culture because of how, you know, that island.
They look at their culture as to say they can't trust the person they're with. They would rather trust these people that they've been trained to trust, even though they enslaved them.
It's unconsciously. You know what I'm saying?
I'll use my great grand aunt. My great grand aunt was black, like this computer. My great grandmother was white like the palm of my hand, because her mother was raped by a slave master, so she looked like this. She had children, and this woman raised 2 of her children. One of my uncles is light-skinned, one of my uncles is black. She treated him like shit, because she was trained that because you were dark-skinned, you were nothing. And that's her grandchild. And she treated him, to this day, he feels like he's the black sheep. Because if anyone can tell you, my mom is light, I'm dark. My brother is a little bit lighter than me, but when the older culture, they treat the black ones like, oh, you laid with this black man to make this dark-skinned child? What is wrong with you? You've already given her
a
stigmatism that she's nothing. But that's what they are mentally trained. And that's what's going back into our culture. That's why I say they see these light-skinned women and they're like, oh, I'm going to go to her, because our older people, they're trained from slave mentality to believe that the lighter the better.
Yeah, so like that's why I was asking, like, what today's times do you think is resorting back to that? Because it's like you try to do business with another brother, and especially me, I try to look out for another, but you turn around, you get burned. So then it makes you say, yo, I can't. Or is you give it more than 2 times, more than 3 times, but you always get burnt. So then when you turn around.
See, you're blaming that person.
All right, hold on. I don't want to forget. All right, that question, most of our people haven't been taught how to do business. No, we train to be employees. That's what we go into the public school system for. All of us are trained to work for somebody. You know what I mean? People go to Ivy League schools, charter schools, they train to be our bosses. You know what I mean? So this whole boss mentality that people think they have, we haven't really been trained. We don't know how to factor in overhead, how to pay employees, the importance of networking, following up with people. Like, this stuff I had to learn too. I wasn't born knowing. I learned all this in the last like 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's ignorance. It's just not knowing.
Yeah.
Not stupidity. Not like I know it, I'm just gonna do it anyway. But ignorant, like I just don't know any better.
That's
as
so
far
true.
as the house, you said like the house Negroes and the field Negroes. It is a trained, right? Keyword trained, learned. You know what I mean? Learn. Somebody had to make you think this way. They took away all the books, told you couldn't read. They gave you like a Bible or something. Worked you like a dog. On Sunday you did this, and then they studied you. Like when you're in the military, you study your enemy. They studied black people and they saw like the flaws. Like, okay, they have a problem with like petty differences. Like there's little things, you know what I mean? If we can just keep them bickering over little things, then we can keep control of them. Because as long as they focusing on each other and not on the enemy, then
they're going to destroy themselves.
Yeah, and we can have control
You're
over
absolutely
them.
right. That's the best way you could have put that. Because we did destroy ourselves when I think of that very thing, and the fact that my uncle, because he's the darkest one, doesn't feel like he's connected to his family. She broke him.
Yeah, y'all gotta realize how much power women have too. That's another thing. It's a difference between you telling me you ain't shit or whatever, and a dude telling me that. A woman, like, you can bury me with your words. People get killed behind what y'all say.
I believe that.
You know what I mean? And they don't know, like, in the whole religious aspect, what we taught, we don't even acknowledge the woman in the culture we was taught. But in our culture, our original culture, the goddess, you know what I mean, was like, it was important that she was there to give you life, like with her words. You know what I mean? Her encouragement made you think you can take over the world. I taught her to hate me. Everything that you say, like, what you think? Oh, you ain't got no money. What you think he gonna do? I'm finna go out here and find it so she don't look at me this way no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it also, it's on y'all mentality too, because dudes follow whatever women do. We love women, even subconsciously.
Yeah,
so if you decided tomorrow that I want a black man with a business that respects me and was about the community, about the kids, and was not letting, I don't even want to call them cops because they like killers, we're not letting killers just come in our community and shoot our children down in the street. And if you ain't on that, then I ain't rocking with you. Guess what? Then the whole neighborhood will be
Men like you.
Revolutionary.
I agree.
So it's on the women.
Hey, so what you saying there, bro? I think what you doing to staring out of my window.
All right, staring out of my window. This was off the Black God album. Also produced by Audio Jones featuring Dank. What up, homie?
That's my favorite.